internet, and this is going to be another book opinion. Once again, we are just going through all the books that I've been promising you book opinions on, but have yet to deliver. I'm delivering now, so that's what's important, right? Today's book is going to be Juliet Takes a Breath by Gabby Rivera. Now this follows a young Latina girl, and she has just finished this book on feminists and loving the female body, of taking back the power of your vagina. And she writes a letter to the author, and she's like, I don't really know if I agree with everything you said here. I don't know if I disagree. I don't know if I understand your definitions or not. But your book has really made me think about things. Your book has opened my mind to so much and made me question and wonder, and just really intrigued me. It became the catalyst for all of these new questions I have pertaining to womanhood, to all of these different things. Can I please come and visit you? Would you take me as your intern? And the woman writes back and is like, yes, come. You can be my intern for the summer. I'm researching a new book. You can help me. And so the story starts there, where this girl is preparing to go and fly to visit this author. Our little Latina girl, she's getting ready. She's just like, I don't know what I'm doing with life. I don't know who I am. I know I'm something, but I'm not quite sure what that is. And it's just a girl full of questions, trying to ask the world to give her answers. She's just seeking for answers, seeking for definitions. She's seeking to understand, and people are throwing all of these different things at her, and she's not quite sure what to do with them. She's not quite sure if she agrees with them. In some parts she agrees with some pieces, and others she doesn't, but she doesn't really know why. And so she's just trying to figure it out. She wants to figure out life. And I really identified with this character for several reasons. I am also Latina, and one thing that we are introduced to her in the beginning is she's this lovely, curvaceous Latina, and I'm like, yes, check mark. I also agree with that. And then she also talks about how she struggles with being Latina sometimes, where she doesn't know if she's Latina enough. And I completely agree with that, because sometimes when you grow up where your culture is kind of there, but you're not completely immersed in it. It is a part of you, but you don't know everything from the first generation. You don't know everything the first generation knew. So she doesn't know Spanish, and she's like, am I Latina enough? Because I don't know Spanish. I sometimes think that I'm like, I can't speak a lick of Spanish. I know nothing about Spanish. I would not hold up a conversation, and sometimes I'm like, am I Latina enough, because I can't speak Spanish? And it's that a requirement to check off my Latina card, right? Do I need that? And so she struggles with that. Then she struggles with her sexuality, because she is attracted to females, and a lot of times in minority groups, because of a lot of the other problems that come along, the sexuality is not accepted, right? We have that in all races, of course, but I feel like in some minority cases it is a lot more strict, simply because minorities have to fight more just to be accepted in the regular world, or to be treated equally. Now we can go into a whole racism, history, all of that sort of thing, but we cannot pretend that there isn't a sort of glass ceiling for females, or there isn't a sort of glass ceiling for people of color. It's just there, and we only need to learn how to deal with that. So in a lot of cases with minorities, sometimes because it is understood that there is a glass ceiling, and you're already going to have to struggle enough because you don't look like the right type of person, you might as well just don't care about be the norm sexuality, be heterosexual, because at least you fit in. You check off one more check mark of how to fit into society, right? That's a concept I've seen often. It's something that I have heard often. It is something that I heavily disagree with. Of course, I don't think we have to put ourselves in little boxes like that, but I think that's something that she is struggling with, especially when we later meet her mom, and she confesses to her mom, hey, I have a girlfriend, I really love her, I like girls. And the woman struggles with it, and she's just but the world and how like life is gonna be so tough for you and this and that, and the neighbors are gonna look down on you, and we don't need more of that. And like that whole concept of she just wants to be herself but she's not quite sure how to be. Then she's like, I don't think I fit into your definitions of who I am. I don't think I understand your definitions of who they are. And she just wants to find answers. So like she goes and meets this author, and this woman is a very exotic, hippie, new age type woman, and she just teaches this girl all of these new concepts. Now, one of the most enlightening parts I found about this is that this girl is trying so hard to discover more things. She's trying to learn more about the world. She's trying to learn why she would think one way, why people would think this way, why we would have safe places over here, why would we focus on these certain subjects, why would we call this thing this. And there's one person who is introduced to her, and he looks down on her because she doesn't know all of these definitions. She's like a part of the LGBT community, but she doesn't know all the definitions and all of the right etiquette that goes along with it. She's a woman and she cares about women's rights, but like she doesn't know everything about feminism, or what should be feminism, or what feminism should look like, or what equality should look like. She doesn't understand those things. She doesn't like understand all the definitions and arguments and philosophies surrounding the people of color and the different sections of the people of color, like what would happen with the Latin community versus what is important to the Black community. She wants to learn these things so desperately, but here's this character who looks down at her because she doesn't intrinsically know everything. And that's the thing, it's like we want people to learn to understand us and how we think, but sometimes we can look down on them when they simply don't understand. Now she's curious, right? She wants to learn, so she's like asked, she's like, hey, what does that mean? But then she's looked down on because she asked, and like she's not being insensitive. She's just like, hey, you said something and I didn't understand what you meant by that word. Can you please explain? And then automatically is looked down upon. And I think that's something we need to be careful on watching ourselves when we do, because we're like, we don't want to alienate people from learning because we treat them like they're stupid because they don't already know. That is something that happens in schools all the time to students, to young kids. They are afraid to ask questions because the moment they ask a question, they feel like everyone will see them as stupid. It is even more important to realize we cannot treat people like they're stupid because they wish to ask a question when it comes to topics that are very important. Now, of course, there comes levels of questions. What is right? What is wrong? Like what you can ask, what you can't ask, what's insensitive, what isn't. And I think there's like a realm of where you need to be understanding and of where you need to be like, no, you're just a dumbass. Like, no, I'm not dealing with you. Like, yes, there's levels. But I still stand by the point, we can't treat people like they're being ignorant assholes because they don't have the knowledge and they're just seeking it out. So another thing we learn is when she is spending all this time with this woman, this author, this woman has a lot of good intentions. She has a good heart, and this woman hurts her feelings on several occasions. And she, again, it's just like, I don't know why what you said offended me so greatly. I cannot explain why what you did was wrong. I don't know why it was. I just know it was. I can't come up with the words to tell you. I can't describe why. You just have to know. And again, that's something that we're all familiar with. It's something that people of color are very familiar with on all sorts of levels, where somebody says something that offends you, or just any sort of minority group in general. You have your LGBT community, you have your people of color, but there will be something that someone says about you or to you that you just are like, why would you say that? Like, you can't explain why what they said offended you or hurt you, why what they said was wrong. You just know they shouldn't have opened their mouth, and our girl experiences something like that. This whole journey, I feel like now I'm just explaining the whole plot of the book to you, and I really don't want to do that. But really, we're just following this girl on her journey where she had somebody become the catalyst for her that would cause her to ask questions about ethics, about morals, about civil rights, about LGBTQ rights. She was just led to ask all of these questions. She doesn't have all the answers, but now she's slowly discovering who she is and how to be confident in herself. The book is called Juliet Takes a Breath, and there's like a moment where she just like goes through this cleansing ritual at the end of the summer with her crazy writer boss, and she just takes a breath and she breathes, and she's just like, I spent this whole summer trying to figure out what life meant, trying to figure out what box I fit in and what boxes I don't, and what I support and what I don't. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay that I don't have the answers. It's okay that I don't understand all the definitions. It'll be okay. I just need to take a breath and calm down and just ask questions and come up with conclusions or come up with theories. But it's okay just to sit down and take a breath and be okay that we're all kind of sort of ignorant about something. And that is a very important lesson. I like how our girl, she gets this little thought in her head where she starts thinking about stuff, like she struggles trying to like learn everything, like she wants to know everything right then and there. She wants to be included. She wants to learn about these groups that she could possibly be a part of, that she's told that she's a part of just by being her, and then not understanding it, and then getting offended by things where she's just like, I can't explain these things to you because I don't know why it is myself. And then her just being like, you know what, it's okay, it'll be okay. I'm not always going to know the answer. For this book, I really identified it because I love the sort of coming of age aspect, the hard-hitting questions that we all are faced with at some point. That moment where we have a catalyst that makes us think, that we lose that naivety that we once had, and you can record the change. You know that exact moment, that's when you started thinking differently about things. And we follow this girl from that moment. She started thinking differently about her life and how she would proceed onwards. And it'll be okay that we don't know everything right in that moment. Our goal is to learn, to think, to figure out what we feel about a topic and why other people feel the way they do, but not just jump into something. I guess I could talk a lot about this in like these concepts, so I'm gonna stop here. I don't want to overwhelm anyone. Plus, I feel like I'm just kind of getting rambly. If you've read this book and do want to share your opinion, as I have shared mine, comment down below. Let me know what's your opinion. How do you feel about books like this versus other books that just show events happening in a person's life and how they deal with it? How do you feel about like just abstract concepts being introduced to a character and them having to deal with those abstract concepts versus physical altercations? If you like what I'm doing here, you want to see more, click those bunnies down below so that you can see more. And goodbye, internet.